This kind of question is probably the simplest JAMB question I've seen so far. Let's say you see this kind of a chemistry question in your JAMB exam. How will you solve it? Let us solve it together. It is very simple. The question says a particle that contains 8 protons, 9 neutrons, and 7 electrons could be written as, and you can see the option. This is a very simple question. The first thing we need to know is that, see, they said this particle contains how many protons? 8 protons. 8 protons, right? 8 protons. Now, what does proton tell us about an element or about a particle? Proton tells us the atomic number of a particle, right? Number of protons is the atomic number of any particle or of any element. So here they told us that this element has 8 protons. That tells us that the atomic number of this particle we are looking for is what? 8. That's the first thing you need to know before you do anything. So now let's just have a little background. Now let's talk about an atom, right? Let's say this is an atom, right? An atom has 3 main parts, right? It has the nucleus. Inside the nucleus, we have 2 things. We have the protons and the neutrons, right? And it also has a shell. And on the shells, we have things we call the electrons, right? The electrons, right? The electrons. So for this particular particle, it has 8 protons, right? And that tells us that the atomic number is 8. So now what you need to ask yourself is that which element has an atomic number of 8? If you know your elements, if you count, you know that the element that has an atomic number of 8 is what? Oxygen. Oxygen. Oxygen has an atomic number of 8. Now, does that mean that the answer is supposed to be oxygen? No, and it can also be oxygen. Why? Let us know. Now, they told us that this particular element or this particular particle has 7 electrons. 7 electrons. Now, JAMB 2026 is next year, and if you want to score high, you need to start preparing very, very early. JAMB for this year, I also held a tutorial, and my students performed extremely well. So, by October, I'm going to start a free class for chemistry, physics, biology, mathematics, and use of English in your JAMB exam. So now, if you want to join this group, because I've created a group for JAMB 2026, just science students, if you want to join the free class, the link is on my bio. Click the link on my bio and then select the option to join free JAMB class. And also, if you want to join, if the link is not working, you can click on the community on my bio. Click on the community on my bio, join that community, and then I'm going to send the link to the community to join. 7 electrons. 7 electrons. Now, let us talk about something very, very interesting now. So there's something we call neutral elements. See, a neutral element is an element that has not lost any electron, neither has it gained any electron. For example, now, if you write oxygen like this in its neutral state, like this, it has what? How many protons? It has 8 protons because that's the atomic number. And it also has 8 electrons. Why? Because it is in a neutral state. It has not lost or gained electrons, right? So now, there's something we now call ion, right? Ion. This ion, we have 2 types. We have the positive ion and the negative ion. The positive ion, we call it the cation, right? And the negative ion, we call it the anion, right? So this negative ion is gotten when an electron is gained, right? When an electron is gained, we have an anion, which is a negative ion. And when an electron is lost, we have a cation, which is a positive ion. Let me give you an example now. See, oxygen, normally in its neutral state, it's supposed to have 8 electrons. So if it loses 1 electron and then it becomes 7 electron, right? If it loses 1 electron and it becomes 7 electron, it has lost 1. That means it will become a cation. It will become a positive ion. So it will become O plus, right? Oxygen plus. So this is oxygen cation. And this one has 8 protons, but it has lost 1 electron. It has become O positive. Are you getting me? But if it gains, if it gains 1 electron, it will become an anion. If it gains 1 electron, so it's going to be what? O negative, right? O negative. That is an anion. That means that it has gained 1 electron. And this O negative, we have how many electrons? From 8. If it gains 1, it will become 9. 9 electrons, right? So this is it. So now in this question, they said that it has 7 electrons. So that tells us that it is what? O positive, right? O positive. So the correct answer here is option B. I hope this is very simple to understand. So they also gave us something here. They gave us the number of neutrons here. This number of neutrons, we don't really need it in this question because we don't need number of neutrons to determine the answer. We can only use number of neutrons to determine the mass number, because mass number is equal to number of protons plus number of neutrons. I believe this is very simple to understand.